Hi, I'm Mike Marino, and this is a brand new episode of Live from My Mother's Basement. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Live from My Mother's Basement. You know, I don't even know why I say good evening, because you never know when people are going to be watching this. Good morning.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
You're ready to say good night. See ya.
We're already gone.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're going to have a lot of fun. I got a special guest sitting next to me right now, which is going to tie into a bunch of different special guests that I had on the show in the last, well, I don't know when they're all going to air, but let's just say a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. They all tie in because they've all been working together. I'm the only one that didn't get to work with them.
Hey, not yet.
Not yet. So this is Joel LeBlanc, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming down to the basement. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We met because of, like I said, some fellow entertainers who were in some. I always say entertainer because I think everybody could do multiple things.
Sure.
I'm sure you do multiple
many hats,
things.
right?
Many hats. Not just me, but the people who come on the show.
Sure.
I'm really impressed by and lucky because some of the people that we have on the show, they have so many different things that they do in this industry.
Well, I wish I could have fixed your phone.
Yes. Before we did started this pre-record, I've been having a problem with my cell phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, I don't know if you could help me at all. And he goes, I used to work at the Geek Squad.
Unfortunately, I quit the Geek Squad to not make money and be an actor. So a little rusty on the phone thing, but I did my best. I'm sorry.
Well, I haven't heard the term Geek Squad. I thought they all went out of business. They weren't doing that anymore.
No, they're still doing it.
Geek Squad's still around?
Geek Squad's still around, yeah.
So rather than going to Apple, I could go to the Geek Squad and hopefully they'll do it?
I would go to Apple, but Geek Squad will do it too, for sure. They're all Apple certified and they'll all check out your phones.
And he told the truth.
Yeah.
All right, so let's rewind. Where are you from?
I'm from, originally grew up in Orange County. And
you're a California guy?
California guy.
You know, the funniest thing, I always think the California guy, like a real Californian, is going to have long blonde hair with blue eyes and going to kind of look like Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Sorry to disappoint.
You're not that guy.
I used to have long hair for a little bit.
Really?
But then when I did the acting thing, I cut it all off and try to look a little bit more professional, even though this isn't very professional, you know, just in between.
Kind of looks like he would think he's a New Yorker.
Yeah, I'm walking.
Do you get that?
I'm sitting here.
Yeah. he could do it. See? Does many things.
Yeah.
Where in California?
Well, I grew up in Orange County until I was about 7, and then parents split and moved to Simi Valley, and then I've lived there ever since. Simi Valley is the place that everything closes at 8 o'clock. Last night, me and my friends tried to go to dinner after watching a video that I edited for them, and everywhere was closed. It was 9 o'clock, nowhere to go.
Simi Valley?
That's Simi Valley for you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Orange County, for those who are watching from different parts of the world, is like, say, what I would think is Surftown, USA.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Did you surf?
No. Too scared of the water.
Really?
Oh, I know. I'm scared of sharks. Number one fear.
It's not the California guy we thought.
Love the ocean. I swim in the ocean. But unfortunately, I have like this irrational fear of sharks. And I'm working on it, though. You know, I'm trying to get more and more out there, you know. Because I'm at this point in my life where I want to, explore and be more adventurous, you know, and just kind of push myself out there. So,
but isn't Orange County like the beach capital of California?
I mean, kind of yes and no, you know.
All right, San Diego, Ventura, they're all beach.
Mm-hmm.
Huntington Beach.
Yeah, Santa Cruz that's like the big one.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, I go there probably once or twice a year
So that's Northern California.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. About 6 hours away, maybe 5.5 hours away.
Orange County is probably, I think, one of the greatest places to live when it comes to California.
Sure.
It's beautiful.
Great area. Yeah. It was a nice place to grow up, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So then Simi Valley.
Simi Valley. Yeah, moved from everything open and everything going on to Simi Valley where nothing's open and nothing's going on.
I don't know much about Simi Valley. Isn't that kind of like, I don't know, your all-American, suburban?
That's true. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, to give an example of just what it is, it's where Ronald Reagan Library is.
Who?
Ronald Reagan, the president. The actor?
Ronald Reagan, he has his own library?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's in his name?
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
And we got that, and then we got nothing's open past 8, and then that's pretty much it. Oh, we have a mall that has no stores in it.
Well, I don't think anybody goes to a mall anymore.
Yeah, especially not that one.
I think I'm a lot older than you, but I could tell you this: the mall was the place to be in the late '70s, early
That's
'80s.
right here.
That's where
Right
you
here.
went to meet girls and have some French fries and watch a
Sure.
movie.
Maybe a milkshake or two.
A
Right?
milkshake.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was looking for a milkshake last night after one of my shows.
Sure.
I was jonesing for a milkshake and a In-N-Out burger, which is a very popular California place to get a burger if you don't mind getting in line for like a half hour.
Yeah, and if you're at In-N-Out, it's just gonna be like that, and you wait for it because it's worth it. That milkshake, that
amazing?
burger.
Yeah, the
That's what us
milkshake.
do, Californians.
There was also another place that wasn't open late that I wanted to go to last night in Burbank. It's one of the originals, Bob's Big Boy.
Ooh, okay. I've heard about it, but I've never actually been.
I don't get this California guy. I'm confused over
I
here,
know.
man.
I'm kind of like a walking entendre, right?
Right? Yeah. Okay. Did you go to Simi Valley because of showbiz?
No. Simi Valley has like no showbiz. My mom, we moved out there when she remarried.
Right.
So, and then I've just kind of been stuck there ever since, trying to work my way back to the LA area. But so far it's been kind of unsuccessful, So now I just drive an extra 45 minutes to any job I have to
So
go
you're
to.
still down in Simi Valley?
Still down in Simi Valley.
Wouldn't it be nice to come up to, like, let's say, this rockin' North
yeah.
Hollywood area?
Yeah. Well, things are starting to get a little bit better for me right now. But for a long time, it wasn't very successful. So I had to stay where I was.
Not the easiest business.
Oh, yeah.
Show business. So when did you start thinking, okay, I want to be an actor?
Whoa. Well, so when I was a kid, my uncle Todd, he got me into filmmaking when I was a little kid. I was 4 years old. And so I never really wanted to do anything else. I used to take my mom's camera and, film myself with my friends. And before, like behind the camera or in front of the camera, I was just always doing something. And I know every actor has that story. So it's nothing original. But later on, I got a little self-conscious and I just I was like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not this, whatever. And I kind of let everyone kind of like convince me that I'm not good. So then I stopped. And that's when I started to work at Geek Squad and all that stuff. And I worked behind the camera doing like music videos, live sessions, things like that. And I still do it, but you got to make money somehow. But then a couple of years ago, a buddy of mine that I went to school with, we went to college together, taking some acting classes. He kind of was like, Joel, I think you're good. And I think that you should keep doing it. And it kind of gave me a little bit of confidence in myself again. So then I promised myself on April 15th of last year that I'd quit my job and just fully focus on acting. And I did. And I've kind of been just really happy and successful ever since. Because I believe that it doesn't have to be making money to be successful. And if you're happy, you're successful, So I've had a lot of blessed opportunities recently. So
It's great to do that because it forces you to attack.
yeah.
If you don't really have that backup plan,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to work as an actor because you don't have a choice and you're going to do everything you can to make that happen,
Exactly.
including making your own projects.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is just my idea, but if you wait for an agent to get you an audition in hopes that you're going to book it, you can go back to the Geek Squad.
Yeah. I don't even have an agent.
Yeah,
I've
well,
been getting all these things on my own.
see,
So
you created your own career.
trying.
And you always will. We have a friend in common who was on the show the other day, and he was telling me about how, his own agent wasn't getting him auditions and didn't want him to do the project that he did that made him the star that he is.
That's what I hear.
Could you imagine?
Can't even imagine that. Yeah.
But, I experienced that my whole life. You're never going to do that. I'm like, get out of the way
Oh, yeah.
while I show you what I do. And don't call me when I'm doing it.
And don't call me Shirley either.
Yeah. Okay, there's a trivia right there. What movie made that popular?
Airplane.
Airplane.
Come on.
Don't call me Shirley. Okay, he knows his shit.
I try, I do love movies, so.
Most people, when they start their career as an actor, find it in junior high, high school. Did you do high school plays and stuff like that?
It's funny. In high school, instead of doing theater, I was in film classes. So I was learning about film and acting in Miss D's film class in Royal High School in Simi Valley. And so I did a little bit of theater in like junior high, but in high school, I just focused on the film classes. So I took filmmaking, advanced filmmaking, and then broadcasting. So my senior year, I was the news anchor in front of the whole school. So that was kind of a fun way to be like, get out of my comfort zone and put yourself out there and be silly and stuff like that.
Good morning, students.
Yeah.
This is the morning announcements. This is Joel. Hope you have a great day. There'll be no fighting. And remember, no smoking in the boys' room.
And no food fights.
Yeah.
This isn't the 80s anymore, right?
We had food fights.
Yeah.
It was
Fast
fun.
Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man, what a movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you didn't do the plays or stuff
Not
like
really.
that?
No, it's one thing that I really wish I did more of because when I was young, I taught myself that I was like I'm a film actor. There's a difference, but so many of the greatest actors who are out there are theater actors who do film. When I was a kid, you have a little chip on your shoulder, be like, no, I'm a film actor. But in reality, the difference is that I didn't want to have to memorize an entire play. And now I'm like, this is the one thing that I really want to do is put myself out there and be uncomfortable and learn all of these dialogue and learn the lines, which was really helpful for Joker as well because, all those lines. So that was
So many
nice.
people who do plays
Mhm.
do become better actors because
Yeah,
you do
100%.
have to memorize everything.
Yeah, easy.
You have to be in the moment. There's no such thing as cut, do it again.
No,
You're
yeah,
live.
no. Uh-huh.
Do or die.
Yeah.
And so it's great training. And going to an acting class is good. Of course, there's classes that are for on camera.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I think even off camera, you're going to get the same lesson
Mm-hmm.
for on camera.
Yeah, I'm still in acting classes right now.
Oh, yeah?
100%. Yeah.
Where do you go?
There's a new class that I've been going to, and he's an incredible actor who started out, and then he's become an acting coach now. And the class is about how to absolutely just nail auditions. And so he's harsh. Like when you get up there, when I first audited the class, I saw these actors and they do these scenes, and I was like blown away. I was like, man, that was incredible. And then you sit down and you watch it in front of the whole class, and then the teacher goes, terrible. That was awful.
You
And
suck.
for this.
Pay me.
Right? But it's good though, because like when I did my first scene with them, I was all kind of like, you know what? I think that went well. I think I did this. And then I got obliterated. And I was like, oh, okay, take a step back and remember that it's all good because now I have things to work on. Now I have things that I can go, you're not this good. You got to put in the work. I wanted to be good so fast that I forgot you have to do this and this and this and this. So it's a good thing because I'm a very competitive person. And when somebody tells me like no, you can't do it. I'm like, let me show you. Let me show you I can.
Besides that, too, an acting coach or a teacher
Mhm.
will make you see things that you didn't even think of.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where did you come up with that?
Mhm.
And then you implement it and you're 10 times stronger.
Yeah.
And you look at them like, man, I got to think like you more often
Mhm.
because your audition will stand out
Yeah, that's the goal.
over everybody else's because you might be doing something that even the casting director or director didn't think. And they're like,
Yeah.
wow, that guy just brought that to life.
Mm-hmm.
Give him that job.
Yeah, you go against 300 or 30,000 people. You got to be the one
Oh,
that stands
please
out.
don't tell me it's 30,000. I
You
was
never
hoping
know.
it was just 30.
The girl from the new Harry Potter series, they said that she beat out 30,000 people.
30,000?
Something like that. Yeah, that's a big project,
Yeah.
That's nothing I'm going for. But
Imagine that. How do you even sift through 30,000 people for one role?
I don't think they do. But 30,000 people.
Maybe
apply.
somebody else does?
Yeah, they got a team of people being like, just no. It's like Tinder for
Yeah.
actors, Just like, no, not good looking, not this, not that, So
I've never been on Tinder. That's hilarious. Okay, so what was like your first, let's say, break?
Sure, yeah. So before I quit my job, I was doing, background work, as a lot of us do when we're trying to start out, right? And I remember I was looking on a couple of little TV shows here and there, and then I was on Backstage, and this little project came up, and it said,
Hold on a second.
sure,
We're going to explain that.
of course.
I didn't even know Backstage existed anymore.
Oh, yeah. Backstage.
Backstage is a newspaper for people in the industry. You can figure out where auditions are, what's being cast, what agent is new, what headshot you should get, a photographer, maybe put an ad in it. But I thought Backstage went away.
It's
with
now an app and a website.
It's an app and a website.
Mhm.
Isn't that
Yeah.
unbelievable, man? I am really getting old.
No.
We used to go get Backstage on the street corner in New York City at a newsstand.
Mhm.
And there was another one, but I think it was more geared towards Los Angeles. The Drama Log? Does that exist?
I don't know.
Have you ever heard of it?
Never heard of it.
Probably doesn't exist.
I'm not sure.
So those were the two newspapers that you would get weekly to let you know what was going on. Even the Drama Log was more California-based, but Backstage was supposedly more New York-based.
Sure.
And it also would tell you, oh, do you need a roommate?
Okay.
You want to put an ad in the paper?
Doesn't do that anymore.
Probably not. Now you can go to, I don't know, roommates.com.
Sure.
But are you relocating? Furniture for sale. I mean, it was really the inside newspaper for actors.
That's cool.
I'm just, reminiscing now because hearing that, I'm like, wow, remember that? Backstage was $2.50.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
It's not $2.50 anymore.
What is it?
I
Free.
think for the year, I think I paid like $200.
Oh, really?
Not crazy.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
A lot of information in there?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, so it's a lot of, every single project is like this, we need this actor for this. And then you put in your character type, you have your resume, your reel, everything like that right on there. And then you just get to apply for all these different, and you can put your cover letter. It's just a beautiful way to do it. Not everybody likes Backstage, but I do because it's gotten me 2 of my biggest projects, which has been nice.
Not to change the subject, I want to stay on that.
Sure.
But do you do like Actors Access, LA Casting?
Actors Access, Backstage, Central Casting, Casting Networks, all the above.
So you're into the business of showbiz because this is a business, and business is bigger than the word show.
Oh yeah.
That's really cool. And you're explaining that. The things we go through to get a job is insane.
Well, without an agent, I'm up in the morning very early on each app, just going through the ones that are filtered for me, applying. And I'll probably do hundreds a week. And then you'll have, like, if you're lucky, 3 or 4 auditions a week, right?
It's a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of rejection, I always tell people, hope you're okay with being rejected, It's just what it is.
Dude, when I was in acting school at the American Academy in New York, they would say to you, here's what you need to start. A survival job. Don't think you don't. Go get a part-time job. At that time, of course, it was waiting tables.
Yeah.
You have to work at night so you can have your days free for auditions, which were in person. And then they would say, you have to have a thick skin. If you don't have a thick skin, get out of this business because you're going to get dogged daily.
Oh, yeah.
You suck.
Yeah.
You don't have the look. You're too old, you're too young, you're too skinny, you're too tall. You're too bald, you're too fat, you're the wrong color. Every single hour. It wasn't even daily, it was every hour. Still like that.
Oh, yeah. I remember one time I didn't get a part because they said I didn't have enough Instagram followers. It's very different now. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. It's different.
Oh, back in the days, your resume's too small. Now it's like, who's following you? Following me?
Oh, yeah. Well, they want to make sure that you're liked beforehand.
Yeah.
Because you're the product. They want to make sure that people like you. And they're like, now, is he good enough to put on our film because he's a good actor? Or does he have enough followers to be in the film?
Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes that's like the big deal. And I'm like, damn, I hadn't thought about that. I was going to delete Instagram a long time ago. And then I was like, wait, I'm an actor.
You need it.
Unfortunately, you got to have it. Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, all social media, TikTok, LinkedIn, anything and anything. You got to be on it. Otherwise, you can't even come on my show. Who's following you?
Luckily, I made it. So thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. And we're going to show you guys exactly one of the reasons. There's a lot of different reasons, but one of those reasons is he's actually really in this cool-ass movie. And I watched this movie. I interviewed the director. Just recently, I interviewed his co-star. And now we have him. So we'll talk about this one particular movie first, then you can tell us about some other project.
Sure.
But the project is called The Joker. And you have to watch this, folks. I don't know if you like horror, or if you like an intense movie, or if
comics
you...
in general, yeah.
Yeah, it's just very twisty, but very cool. See, I like this type of genre. I love horror. I love watching clowns. I like being scared. But I'm not normal like other people too who are not in this business. I don't watch it and enjoy it the way I should. I watch it and wonder, how could I have done that? How did they do that?
Sure.
And how did they, why are they, could I do that? I want to be in that. How come I wasn't considered? And then you wonder, where's the camera? What was he thinking?
Yeah.
What was that guy's preparation? Holy shit, they fucked him up. You know what I mean? How did they do that?
Yeah.
Who's the makeup person? And so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because you don't really enjoy the movie the way regular people are like, oh, what a great movie. I'm like, wait a minute. I think I see a can of Coke on the floor. You know what I mean? But the continuity.
Well, this one thing I learned from the show Ted Lasso, it's be curious, not judgmental.
Yeah.
It's great to look for that stuff, and then if it's a Marvel movie, just kind of maybe turn it off. Be open to the fact of like, how'd they do this? Well, it's a space movie. It's cool.
It's a great movie.
Mm.
This project is really, really great. It's called The Joker. So
Yeah.
why don't you tell us how you actually got in the movie?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I kind of had a small in with Hunter Williams, who's the producer. Connections, and so it kind of put me on the pile of people who were going to be going out for Robin. And so they asked me, they're like, hey, we're interested in possibly auditioning for Robin. Can you send us your reels, your Instagram, everything like that, right? So I sent an email with everything that I had. But then I also had the idea to send them a picture of me dressed as Robin, which 8 years ago I did.
Robin from Batman
Yeah,
and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Just so you know, he plays...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. How would you even explain that Robin's in the movie?
Well, if you know the comic Death in a Family, then you'll know that Robin is kidnapped by Joker, and things don't go well, I'll say. And that's the best way we
Well,
can
it's a good twist.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah,
not a
we twisted
person.
it up.
It's Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
The
can
Boy
explain
Wonder.
it. The Boy Wonder.
Yeah. He's a little older in ours, but
Yeah.
the Boy Wonder, who's unfortunately been faced with Joker kind of showing Batman the errors of his ways. You're going to bring a boy to face psychopaths, criminals. And so he wanted to, mess with Batman to say, this is not what you should be doing. This is not the real world stakes. So when I was a kid, I used to dress up as Robin. Me and my twin brother, we were always Batman and Robin. So when I became older, about 20, I did a cosplay as Robin, Jason Todd specifically. And I did it at WonderCon, which is like Comic-Con but smaller. And then I did it for Halloween. So when they asked me to apply for the movie, I sent them a picture of me as Robin. And then Hunter sent me a message back going, bro, do you know how smart it was sending us a picture of you as Robin? And I was like, had to do something, because I want this part, I had to be Robin, and I had to be working with David.
So you got the audition because of a picture?
Because of a picture. Yeah, picture of me dressed as the Robin from the movie.
Oh, wow.
The same exact Robin.
You see, the creativity.
You got to do what you can to stand out.
He did something out of the box. There's probably 30,000 people auditioned.
Maybe not 30,000 for this one, but
Everybody swiped.
Sure.
And then they went, wait a minute, this guy's dressed like Robin. We're looking for it. Well, that's what we're looking for. Swipe back, swipe back.
Yeah.
All right.
Of course.
Okay, so what did he do? Call you in to read?
Yeah, so he goes, hey, we want to have you a 3-way call with me and the director. So they called me up, and they were like, tell me about you. And I told them about the acting stuff, but then I was like, this is what I'm going to tell you about Robin. So I just started nerding out, telling them all about the comic that they're making the movie about, all about how it's Jason Todd who's Robin, his upbringing, like what he means as a character. And they were like, well, not only do we like the fact that you know this character probably more than most, but also the determination and like the amount of admiration you have for the project, we really appreciate. So we'll send you a link soon to have you like do an audition for it, right? And I was like, okay, that sounds fantastic. I'm not gonna get my hopes up because I've been told that many times. And then the next day they call me up. They text me and they're like, hey, we have some sizing questions for you. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Can you fit these leotards?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to get my hopes up. And then they're like, well, we really liked your cosplay. So we want to base the Robin costume around your cosplay. And I'm like, well, that's a good sign. That's a great sign. So still not getting my hopes up. And then they gave me a call a little bit later and they were like, hey, we're not going to have you audition for it because, what are you going to really audition screaming? But we would like to just offer you the job. We think that you're a great fit, and you obviously know more about Jason Todd than most people.
You didn't have to scream?
Did not have to scream, not once. Saved it all for what you saw. Yeah, didn't have to scream for it.
I don't know. I would think that's a little risky.
I definitely
Get down and
took
say,
a
this
chance
guy
on it.
can't scream at all.
Yeah, I came up there and I'm like, I can't scream, by the way. It's
Yeah, I don't
something
scream.
can't do. I have no technical training in screaming. So luckily I had a lot of technical training in screaming because I've specialized in horror movies for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing that anyone's ever seen, but I've screamed a lot. I've always wanted to be a scream king. So
All right, so you go down to the set, you get this role in a movie called The Joker.
Joker's Wild.
The Joker's Wild,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I don't know why I said The Joker. I guess because everybody
Popular
knows.
Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix movie, yeah.
I didn't like part 2, quite honestly. I like the first one,
The
but
first one's still
that's
great.
their problem. It's not ours.
That's Hollywood's issue.
So the Joker's wild.
Yeah.
You get the part, you go down to the set, and you meet your co-star, who is
David
Howard Thornton,
man,
who plays Art the Clown
oh yeah,
in the franchise Terrifier,
oh yeah,
which is really some scary shit.
yeah, definitely.
And here he is again now, all dressed up like the Joker.
Like another clown.
Yeah, it's kind of like another clown, but
yeah,
different.
Mhm.
And in this project, he talks a lot,
Mhm.
whereas in the Terrifier, he doesn't talk at all.
oh yeah,
So they're yelling and screaming, and of course, the Joker is torturing him.
this guy, yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us what it was like the first day on the set to work with him, work
Oh, yeah.
with these guys,
Oh yeah,
and just work in general
sure.
on something you probably didn't know you were going to be doing?
Never would have guessed it.
Like,
Never
was there
would've
a script that said, hey, these are all the screens you do?
Oh yeah. No, there's definitely a script. So when I got the part, they gave me the script, and they had told me when I was auditioning for it that it's Terrifier meets Joker, and we have David Howard Thornton, and I was like, no way, and so I'm freaking out. I'm a big
But you
David
knew
Howard
he
Thornton
was in the
Yeah.
other movies.
Oh yeah, I'm
the
a big
Terrifier
David
movie.
fan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Terrifier fan, and I love horror movies. So I thought it was like, there's no way I'm going to get this. No way. I called my brother.
Really?
I was like, hey, I'm going out for this part. David Howard Thornton. He's playing the Joker, and everybody I told was like, "What are you going to be, a henchman? You're going to be like a police officer in the background?" And I'm like, I might be Robin. And they were like, "Wow, okay, good luck, good luck." And then I got it, and they were like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm very excited." And then I get to set.
Did you by any chance know other people who auditioned for it?
No,
No.
not a person. No. Hunter said it was a good stack, but I try not to ask questions like that because then it
I
gets
did.
in your mind.
Who was in here?
Who did it less good than
Did
me?
Mike Marino audition for this?
Yeah. I'm sorry that I beat you out.
I'll be
I
Batman.
apologize. Yeah, I think you could. Or
Okay,
like
so-
you said, Jim Gordon, the detective.
Yeah.
hmm I'm gonna advocate for that for sure.
Wow.
If you make
That'd be
another
cool.
one, Jim Gordon.
I get the bat phone.
Oh yeah, red alerts.
Yeah, remember that?
Holy bat phone, Batman.
Commissioner Gordon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, so you're on the set.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see him. You're all nervous.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
Just- You try to be professional as much as you can, right? And I'm playing it cool, as Aaron and I talked about. But I've worked with actors and directors before, So I'm like, okay, I'm a David fan, but today we're coworkers, right? He's playing Joker, which is his passion project, and I'm playing Robin, which is mine, right? So I get there, he walks in his Terrifier jacket, and I was like, and he goes, "Hi, I'm David," and I was like, "Hi, David, I'm Joel," and he was just like, "I'm gonna beat the shit out of you today," and I was like, "Yes, you are. I can't wait," And
He's a
so-
nice guy.
very nice guy, super humble, super professional, and it was just incredible, So that was
So
really
you get on the set.
Uh-huh.
There's, I believe, just one set, right?
Yeah, one day,
All
one
day.
set, yeah.
And that one place, which by the end of the day probably stunk like sweat.
Sweat and fake blood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You meet the director. You meet everybody. And did you meet Tatjana that day?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Sweet.
Tatjana Bluchel,
Mhm.
who is the producer of this podcast, has been since its inception. Tatjana Bluchel.
Yeah.
We always talk about Tatjana, but of course she is a special effects makeup artist, and she's working on this
Extremely
project,
talented. Yeah,
which
extremely
is
talented.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And how does it begin?
Oh man, so we get there, and it's a little bit of waiting, and so your butterflies are going, and then Tatjana and Pedro and Cassie, the makeup team, they go, "You're first, because we got to get some B-roll shots of you before we get David, because David's gonna take the longest." So I get up in the makeup chair, and they're telling me, because I knew about certain things that would happen, right? But then they're doing it. They're creating these things on the spot of how they're gonna put the mask and I don't know if I spoil it, but
You can tell
Okay,
everybody everything.
Sure, yeah. They had to make it look like my eyeball was missing, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting in the makeup chair. They're making me look bloody and beaten up, like I'd been doing this for days. And they had the mask, and they had to work around the mask to get the actual eyeball outline, which they did. They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna use this tissue paper."
It's spectacular. His
Oh,
face is so fucking jacked up
Yeah,
with the blood and the guts and the eyeball.
yeah. And then I couldn't see with one eye the whole day, and then I was blindfolded for the rest of the day. So it was a lot of confusion, which was good though, because sometimes you didn't want to see it coming. So then I didn't get to see David until the actual scene in the movie where he lifts my blindfold up.
Yeah.
It's the first time I see David. So that was like really cool to see. Is he played the song from Batman, the Joker one, where he's like dancing in the street, the Prince song. That's how he comes up the stairs before we started shooting. And I'm sitting there and everybody's going like, oh my God. And I'm like,
It's
what?
so cool.
Is he
So
here?
cool.
And I'm like this. And Pedro's like, do you want to lift up the blindfold? And I go, no, I don't. Like, I want to be the scene that I see him. I want it to be genuine. So in the scene, when he lifts that up and you see my eyes go watery and freaking out, was because it was the first time I saw him on set, which was really cool, man. Yeah, really fun.
And he has all that white, thick, creamy clown makeup with the Joker type hat or whatever he had on, and that big crazy smile, and he's laughing and screaming and scaring the bejesus out of you, and he has more energy than anything you've ever seen in your life. You wondering how is he not petering out? And they shot this whole thing in a day, right?
One day. Mm-hmm.
And how did you keep up with all your yelling and screaming and ow, you're killing me?
Well, it's funny because I was tied to the chair for most of the day.
Yep.
So I was just using the fact that I can't go anywhere. This is how it would actually feel to be tied up in that chair. Because in order for me to get out of it, was a pain in the ass. In order I had to go to the bathroom, it was like, no, just hold it. Which makes you then, react even harder. And then David's just performance just really motivates you to go harder. It's the Christian Bale and Heath Ledger effect. Heath Ledger walked on set and Christian Bale goes, I gotta do this higher now. So when David came on set, it was like an instant, okay, this is real. Like, this is happening whether I like it or not. And now I have to bring myself to the table, like make sure that people know that I deserve to be here. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that I did the night before was I sat in a chair with my friend Austin, who's, a really gifted actor and director. And we just practiced me just doing it with now just the eyes, now just the mouth, now just your shoulders, so that way, hopefully everything can feel genuine and not overacted or underacted and just make you feel the actual emotion. But then David got there and it was just, it's real because he's scary as hell, and he's just so good. So it was really, really, really powerful to work on.
So in this project, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm hoping you can tell everybody where they can actually watch it and see it and enjoy it. It's a horrific scene. There's just two people in the project. And by the end of the project, you'll make a judgment on how you feel about it. Mm-hmm. I love this type of a thing. I love watching somebody get chopped up and killed. And I love seeing two actors just go at it. There's only two actors in this project. I'm not going to blow the ending, but why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where they can actually watch this?
Sure. Yeah, it's Joker's Wild on YouTube, and it's I think we're about maybe almost close to 500,000 views now.
That's a lot.
Trying to gain some
500,000 views.
Yeah, we're getting there. David's the star, and he's really pushing to be the new Joker in the DC universe, and I really could not tell you how much I believe in him, and he's the most comic accurate Joker we've ever had. So it just kind of really shows on screen.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Mm-hmm. Are they going to make this maybe into a franchise as well? Maybe part 2?
You never know. That's the goal, but so far we're waiting to see what happens.
They would actually have to make a prequel.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, if you know the comics, I don't want to spoil anything, but it might not be the last you ever see of Jason Todd. So I'm just gonna say that my Robin, his story does not end there, even though it looks like it would. So,
all right then. So let's not touch it.
Sure.
You get it. Watch it. Check it out, and come up with your own conclusion. Okay. I said prequel because but what do I know?
You never know.
You got to watch it. Watch this project. Yeah. So was this your first, but you were doing some other stuff before this project, right?
Yeah, no, I'd done a few little things. This was by far the biggest character I've had in such a grand event, Like I'd starred in, short films and stuff like that before, and I had a featured actual close-up scene in Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, which was like this incredible opportunity for me because I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan as a director, and I actually got directed by Zack on that scene, which was like this, huge proud moment for me.
Rebel Moon.
Yeah, Rebel Moon. It's on Netflix. Not everybody liked it. I'm going to tell you that right now. I liked it. I like the movie.
He's in it. Go watch it.
For like 3 seconds, but I am in it, yeah. Which like this moment, because the day I quit my job, April 15th, that night Rebel Moon came out. And then I told myself the universe will tell me if my scene makes it in the movie, And because most of the time you do that stuff, you're not in the movie, and you're like, it's still fun. And then I got together with some of my friends and we watched the movie, and there I was right there, having an actual scene. And I just kind of had this moment of like, this is a start. This is something I know I loved, because for one moment, the whole set, revolved around me for once. And it was just this like really humbling experience to be like, I want this, and I want to show that I'm able to do this, and I'm prove that I'm willing to actually like be in that room.
What did you get to work on as soon as this project was done?
Well, so far I've got actually 4 feature films that I'm attached to, principal characters. They're still
yet
early
to be
stages.
shot.
Yet to be shot. Yeah, very exciting stuff. So I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm very excited about these projects, and I have 2 that I'm really looking for, that I'm anxious, and I'm trying to get into a certain horror franchise that some of the fans of Joker's Wild are asking if I can get into this franchise, and I don't want to jinx it, but I'd really like to be in a 4th installment of a certain series, but you never know. So,
all right. Well, we won't spoil it. When he's telling me these things, I'm sitting here going, hey, I could be a cop. He could shoot me in the beginning. Yeah. I could stand there and go, what's going on?
I think this is the beginning of our
Can I just stab somebody?
Great working together, I'm excited.
Can I shoot somebody? I got shot in a movie once, and it was like the greatest day of my life. I'm like, this is fun, unbelievable. Well, I got lucky. We were doing a movie called Silent Partners. It's out right now. It's killing it on Amazon.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But I had never got shot. I never had a squib on me. I never even
wanted to do that.
Right? You get shot.
That sounds fun, man.
The coolest thing about it is there's a totally different team of people who come in and say, okay, we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
I go, where did everybody go? And he goes, they don't have anything to do with this. This is the pros now.
Just you.
Hold a gun, and this is don't do anything. And But they put a squib in a hat. I had a hat on. And there was one in here, I got shot in the head.
Wow.
And a bunch here.
Yeah.
But they had put squibs on the table and behind me, and I didn't know that they were going to be exploding all of that. And then they put a mat down, and the guy goes, this is where you're going to fall. And he goes, this one here is going to hurt a little bit. Ooh, it's going to pull your hair on your chest.
Yeah.
And he goes, but this one's really going to hurt.
Ooh.
But this will help you with a natural reaction. So when that guy yelled, fire in the hole, and they just started shooting me, everything on the table was exploding, because it was like food and knives and forks and dishes and apples and fruits, and it was just going up in the air and up in the air and up in the air. Everything behind was exploding. So then when this hit and this hit, it pushes you.
I'll bet.
So instead of faking it, you really went, ow, that fucking hurt.
Yeah.
But you don't say nothing. So your whole body just jolted. And when it was all done and I fell on the floor, and the guy goes, cut, everybody was applauding. And the guy goes, man, you went down like a pro. I'm like, ow.
Dude, well
it fucking
done.
hurt, bro.
I love it. This is the part of the video where we'll show you dying.
And then knuckleheaded me going, can I keep it? Can I keep it? Where is it?
Yeah,
where is that thing?
Find it. Yeah.
And it's not there. You can't, I don't know.
It's just gone. It's exploded.
I hope I get to do that again. That was fun. Yeah, it's kind of scary too, because you are holding a real gun.
Yeah, I've never done that. I
never even fired the gun.
Shot. You never fired it?
No, because I'm the one getting killed.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Of course.
But I didn't.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So that was kind of fun. But I would love to do a horror.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite horror movies that scared the living crap out of you was Alien.
Oh, man. Alien.
And I love the scene when the guy's looking for the cat. He's on Jones, and you don't,
suspense.
It's nothing really.
Yeah.
But it's so built up. And when you finally see that, I want to be that guy.
Yeah, of course.
And he's been in a lot of movies, that guy. He's an incredible character actor. I don't know his name, but he was in a lot of movies, and it was so well done.
Yeah.
So.
Well, movies like that build the suspense. I always say, like, the Jaws effect, right?
Yeah.
Most of that movie, you don't even see the shark. And that's why it's so scary.
Yeah.
Because when you see it, you're like, even for its time, this was groundbreaking. But if we saw it too much, will it hold up over time? And Jaws still does, because he was only in the film for 4 minutes, the actual shark, and just that
Yeah. It scared the crap out of you.
I still hear that, and I'm in the
I'm
water.
hearing it now.
I'm in the water trying to think I can go surfing, and then I'm like, no, I can't do it. Thanks a lot, Jaws. Thanks, Spielberg. I can't do this. So
I remember when Jaws came out. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but everybody, and I'm from the Jersey Shore, so we all went to the movie theater, and we were like, "Is this a good idea? Is this a good idea?" And people were screaming out loud.
Yeah.
We didn't go to the beach for a year.
A year.
It's petrifying.
I can imagine.
You could be in 2 feet of water thinking I'm going to get eaten.
Yeah. Because that was like your first big shark movie, right? Like there's nothing like that before then, really, right?
No, and to this day, I travel a lot, so I'm always on planes, and they show these movies on the plane, and Jaws is always there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And all I do is I fast forward, and I go right to the scene when the guy's sitting and goes, "You know who I am? You know what I do for a living? I'll catch this bird."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Wow, what a great scene! What a great what a great monologue!"
Oh, that's a dream.
The classic, "You're going to need a bigger boat."
Oh, dude. Yeah. Oh, man.
I wonder if that time they even thought that this is going to be a hit, man. This line is going to be classic.
Yeah. That's the wonder. That's the crazy part is how many lines did they think we'd be saying to this day? Like, "No, I am your father."
Yeah.
Did we think that was going to be the biggest quote? Like,
hey,
that's crazy.
That could be your movie.
Hey, you never know, man. I'm thinking we remake Jaws, not the same we should. And then
Yeah, I would love to do that.
And I could be the scientist. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Wow, what a.
And David can be the shark.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned you're a twin.
I am a twin. Yeah.
Is he an actor?
No. He's the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah, he's a CHP detective.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So but he's very supportive. About me doing my acting and stuff, which has been great. For Christmas one year when I was a little down on myself, I wasn't very confident, and I don't know how he did it, but he bought me this. It was a fake star, a Walk of Fame, Hollywood Walk of Fame with my name on it, like an actual tile, right? And he's like, if you don't believe in yourself, know that I do. And it was this big moment for me of like, man, okay, this is awesome, because it was shortly after that I was like, okay, I'm gonna quit my job and do it now. And like you said earlier, as an actor, you have to have a part-time job. I'm a barista like most actors, but I don't work 45 hours a week anymore because I have to push myself to keep going. And my brother is really supportive of that, which is really great.
This is a job. You're going to work 9 to 5.
Oh yeah.
As an actor, pursuing your career.
Oh yeah.
The actual role that you get is almost like the cake.
Yeah.
This is the party right here.
They say auditioning is your job.
It is.
Acting is what comes out of it. So,
as a comic, I tell people all the time, I don't work at night. When I go on stage, that's the fun. It's trying to get the work. That's the job.
Oh yeah, when you're acting,
and it's constant.
When you do what you
and
want,
the higher you climb, the more work you're going to have to try.
Exactly.
Keep on going.
Well, they say that the harder you work, the luckier you get. Right? Because like you can work hard as you want, and as long as you're determined, you can get one audition that can hopefully just break it for you.
Oh yeah.
Send them a picture of you as Robin.
A movie. Could change your career, change your life. You're in a really, really great project. And anybody who's in this industry will watch your acting and say, okay, this guy's good. Because that type of acting, I would say, is extremely difficult.
You know what I find
to hold that
difficult? Comedy.
Stand up.
Oh, dude, I look at you and I think that I could never do that. I think that's harder for me than screaming all day.
Yeah. I never set out to be a stand-up. I was an actor. All I ever wanted to be was an actor. But when people started telling me, you're funny, you have timing, I said, all right, I'm an actor playing the role of a stand-up comic.
Okay.
And now I'm addicted to stand-up because when you perform live, the adrenaline rush. Plus, you can create your own career.
Yeah.
I've gotten more film work by performing as a comic than I did with any audition.
That's amazing. That's what goes.
Yeah.
You showed your personality and you showed your drive.
And that's now, incredible. Where I am in my world, and you'll see this too, mingling, working, staying in touch with everybody, making friends on a set is going to get you to your next job.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Then your next job is going to get you to the next job.
Yeah.
So you got to stay around people that you actually like, you have a good chemistry with, and you can't wait to be on set with them again. Because we can work with people that, it sucks.
Yeah. And that's what's been really fun about Joker's Wild is that I've met a lot of people who've reached out to me and just kind of really been like, you were great. and I want to work with you. And for me, I'm always hard on myself. I'm like, I could have done this better. I could do this. You know, I didn't have any lines.
You always will.
Always. But that's the part about trying to be better, you know. And then I've met a lot of incredible filmmakers that are like, let's get in touch. And like you said, the networking and the meeting people, like right now, you know, being on your show has been just a really, really exciting experience.
This is fun. We're hanging out with two guys just bullshitting about this business. And hopefully everybody's going to turn on and go watch Joker's Wild, and then they'll write to the next show and say, oh my God, I remember seeing David on the podcast he did with him and then his friend and the guy who directed it. We didn't even mention his name.
Aaron Bennett.
Phenomenal. Has already been in the basement.
Yeah.
And we did a great podcast. He was a lot of fun. Talked all about how his other career is. I guess he was talking about how he's
a grip. Yeah.
He brings
grip truck and everything.
Yeah. We had that conversation about the terminology for what they do.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, foreign to people who are watching. So there's the grip, the key grip, the best boy.
Oh, yeah.
Best Buy.
Best boy. Yeah.
And he explained each one of those things. So the electrician, I guess, I don't even know. The lighting guy, there's so many different guys.
Key grip's the boss.
Yeah. But who knew that?
Yeah.
I never even knew that. And I've been on many, many sets. I never even knew what they meant. I knew makeup artist.
Yeah. Hey, Tatjana.
Right, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, actually, Tatjana is a makeup artist, but she's also special effects makeup artist.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, there's probably even another term. But she mastered all of that because she could make somebody look gorgeous and beautiful, and she could make him look like he lost his eyeball.
Yeah, it was incredible. I believed that I lost my eyeball.
Yeah,
you know, so,
I did too.
Yeah, her, Pedro, and Cassie were just incredible all day. So it was amazing. Great experience. All
right, so tell everybody where they can find you on the internet, and of course, one more time, remind them how they should watch your movie, The Joker's Wild.
Yeah, no, I'm like everybody, like Aaron Bennett said, you know, I'm on Instagram, Regular Joel. Like Regular Joe, but Regular Joel. Long time ago, Joseph Gordon-Levitt gave me that nickname. So it was
Regular Joel.
Regular Joel on Instagram. And then you can watch Joker's Wild on YouTube. You know, just type in Joker's Wild, it'll come up. And watch David Howard Thornton really just go to town as Joker. And
guys, it's a great project, man.
We had a lot of fun. You know, I was very lucky to be part of it. Very, very blessed. And the entire team, you know, Vanessa, Chris, Hunter, you know, Parker, Aaron, you know, everybody, Austin, you know, Aaron Bennett, of course, being the director was just incredible. And then working with David was just a dream come true.
Let me ask you this too, because it's very interesting when you watch. Where were you guys?
We were at a Giants warehouse turned studio. And it was just the same studio that they did that one music video of, what was this, that song, Don't Stop. I don't remember. It was a big music video, and they shot it there. And there's just like this giant room that we were in, and then we used the bathroom next to it too. And they set up the bathroom to be the street lights. How they do that stuff, I'll never be able to actually figure out.
It's because when you watch it, you're like, "What a disgusting set."
Yeah.
But then that makes you realize that's a pro set.
Oh man, yeah, they got it there. The set itself wasn't that gross. They got it there the day before and just made it disgusting.
Yeah,
just blood everywhere. You know, I was covered in blood. Drinking the little blood every single take was just like, after a while, like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then after a while, they're like, bloop, bloop,
what does
bloop,
fake blood taste like?
It's a little bit sweet, but really just bland. And it just soaks your entire mouth. And then they go swish it around. So it's all of your teeth in your mouth. And
it was all over his teeth.
Pouring around your mouth, you know.
It's disgusting.
And, you know, like, so it gets bland really quickly.
Did it ever get annoying, or were you just like high as a kite?
Oh man, I was having the time of my life. Everyone's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm stoked. You know, I'm having the time of my life. You know." And David said one thing to me because I was like, "You know, I'm really happy to be part of this project, and I'm doing the best I can do without any lines." And he goes, "I've had my biggest pictures I've ever had with no lines."
Yeah.
And he goes, "And what you can do with no lines can show what you can prove as an actor with no dialogue." So I was really happy.
Yeah.
That was a really incredible thing for him to say to me, because it really helped me, you know, be more proud of myself, which was very exciting. So,
like in the scene Alien.
He
has no lines.
No.
He's just walking around looking for the cat. Well, he does say the cat's name.
Yeah.
Jonesy.
Yeah.
Jonesy. Mm-hmm. But when you see the dripping water going down the chains.
And that's enough to freak you out for a long time.
Yeah.
It's the subtle things that get you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Like, David is Art the Clown, or the Mean One. What he can do with just his body. I watched his like actual video of his audition for Art the Clown, and if anyone hasn't seen that, watch it. It's incredibly powering what he did with just his body, of like Art the Clown, and he became Art the Clown. Like, there was a guy who played Art the Clown before him. Not saying he was not great. He's great, but David as Art the Clown is what really put himself on t-shirts and posters and everything, and became the phenomenon. Now, Damien, of course, incredible director, choosing David just blew up that franchise, and them two together are just a masterclass in filmmaking. So
yeah, we can plug that too. You guys got to watch this. It's called
Terrifier 1, 2, and 3. Yeah,
I don't know why I blanked on that.
Got your back.
Well, because I was thinking about so many different things at the same time.
Man.
But Terrifier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Terrifier.
Oh, yeah. Terrifying for sure.
He's the new major clown.
Mm-hmm.
Scary clown.
When you think of him, you think, oh, man, that guy's got to be the Joker. And then you watch him as the Joker, and you're like, I was right,
Or in the Mean One.
Oh, yeah, man. He's the grump. They weren't allowed to say the Grinch.
I almost did.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this is really, really great, man. So we wish you all the best, man. I hope you stay in touch. We're going to look forward to seeing you in all your projects. So go ahead and plug everything, all your social media. Make sure everybody follows him. Follow.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm regular Joel, Instagram, and I don't have anything else except for Instagram right now. But other than that, I look forward to working with you in a movie. And hopefully we can do that soon. It'd be great.
Thank you so much for coming down the basement. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Nice big applause. We can hear you from all the way over here in Los Angeles, California. Joel LeBlanc.
Appreciate it. Thanks
French.
for having me on the show. Yeah.
We got to get going, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to my producer, Tatjana Bluchel, for making sure we always have a great guest come down the basement and making sure we have a great podcast every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock live on my YouTube channel. You can follow us and watch us on Spotify. And also you can listen to us on Italian American radio in New York City. Remember, let's make America Italian again. You know the motto. You don't know nothing. You don't see nothing. You don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my podcasts? By saying the same thing along with my guest.
That's me.
Don't take no shit from nobody. Hey folks, thanks for watching live from my mother's basement. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, hit the word like and leave me a really cool comment. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the future episodes, and you can watch some of the funniest videos on the internet. You can also listen to the show on Spotify or your favorite podcast app.